Hi, I'm Anita Potter from Needles and Hooks, and today we're going to go over some basic beginner knitting stitches. Yay! As you see before me, I've got two very well used knitting needles. These are size 8s, US size 8 knitting needles, and just a ball of random worsted weight yarn in a purple colorway. So we're going to go over how to make the garter stitch, stockinette stitch, and the seed stitch. So how we always get started, I'm going to grab off a bunch of yarn here, and I'm going to make a slip knot. And this is just how I do it. You can do it however you would like. Just bring it up under and pull it through. And we're going to cast on 12 stitches. And there are also different ways to cast on, and I'm going to make a list and we'll make videos for all of them. But today we're just going to go over learning the knitted cast on and not any other cast on at the moment. So you're going to put it on your left hook. You're going to insert your needle into that stitch, and that does count as a stitch. And you want to not use your tail, you're going to use your working yarn. You're going to wrap your yarn around the knitting needle and pull it through the stitch, and then you're going to place it back on your left hand needle, and we're going to go in between right there into the stitch. I don't know how well this is picking it up, but you're going to go into the actual stitch, and we're going to yarn over our right hand hook, pull it through, and then place it back onto the left hand needle, and that's 3, and we're going to need 12 of these. So you're going to insert your hook. I just got done doing the crochet video, so this is a knitting needle. Insert your needle into the stitch, yarn over that needle, pull it through, and then back onto the left hand needle. Did I just do that wrong? I think I just did that wrong. I think I did a cable cast on instead. Let me try this again here. Insert your needle into the stitch, wrap your yarn around, pull it through, and back on the hook. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've done a normal knitted cast on, so that's 4. Not the tail, your working yarn. Wrap it around, pull it through, and then back on. That's 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Make sure it's going through the center of that stitch. Don't drop my stinking needles. Don't drop the needles. I think that's 10. Let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Got 2 more. Wrap it around. Pull it through. And back on. 11. And 12. Now it's important, especially as a beginner, not to totally death grip your needles. You need to be all nice and loose with it, otherwise you're going to give yourself hand problems, and we don't want that. We want you to be able to make awesomely cool things. So we've got our 12 stitches. Now for the garter stitch, we're just going to knit every row, and we're going to do 6 rows so you can see it better. So this is how your first row is going to differ. You're going to insert your hook in between the stitch like we did when we cast it on, wrap your yarn around, pull it through, and then pop that one off. The first row is always going to be the hardest row, so take your time. You're going to insert your hook needle. This is what happens when you do both. Insert your needle into the next stitch, wrap your yarn around, pull it through, pop it off. That's 2. One more time. Insert your needle into the next stitch, wrap it around your right hand needle, pull it through, and then pop it off your left hand needle. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then you're gonna turn it and switch your needles to the opposite side. You're gonna always have, unless you, well, you're always gonna have it on your left hand needle here. And I always control the yarn with my right hand because that's what I'm used to. I'm left-handed, and I've tried knitting continental, and I can't do it. It hurts my hand. So that was row 1, and now we're going to do row 2, which is the same thing. And insert your needle into the first stitch, wrap your yarn around the right hand needle, pull it through that stitch, and then pop that stitch off. That's 1. One more time. Insert your needle into the next stitch, wrap your yarn around that right hand needle, pull it through, and then pop it off. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's row 2. And as a beginner also, I'm going to show you this real quick too. So you see there's like, not sure I'm in the camera very well here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now sometimes you may end up seeing something like this, and it'll look like you've got 11 stitches, and if you don't pay attention, you're going to knit into that. I should know I have done it many times on accident. So if you see like if your yarn is like sitting like this in the back, where it's like looped over, like it looks like an upside down horseshoe, you're going to want to bring your yarn back over to the front. That way you don't end up adding stitches, because then it's sad, because it's not like crochet. You can just rip back and be off, and it would just be easy to like rip it back and do it. Knitting is completely different, and I will have to do a video on how to fix dropped stitches or added stitches. You'd have to like work your way back or drop it and then bring it back up with a crochet hook. But that's for a future video. So that was 2 rows. We're going to work on row 3, which is the same as before. You're going to insert your needle into the stitch, wrap it around your right hand needle, pull it through that stitch, and then pop it off. And again, we're going to insert our needle into the next stitch, wrap it around, pull it through, pop it off, and that's 2, 3, 4, yarn ball's in the way, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're going to turn our work. You can already sort of see the pattern as it is, and we've done 4 rows. No, we haven't. We've done 3. And the way I can tell is that if I'm on the wrong side now, my tail, if I was on the right side, would be over on the left. Seeing as it's not, it's on the right, I'm on the wrong side. So we've done 3 rows, and we got 3 more to go. because garter stitch is a really tiny stitch. You can't really see it too well. If it's only just 2 rows, you need to go a little bit more. So we're going to work row 3, insert our needle into the next stitch, get the tail out the way, wrap it around, bring it through, pop it off. Insert our needle, wrap it around, bring it through, pop it off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then turn our work over back over to the right side. So you can now sort of start to see it pop up. That's 4 rows. We're going to do 2 more. And I don't think you need the instruction anymore, but we'll do it for the first 2 stitches. Insert your needle into that first stitch, wrap it around, and then pull it through, and then pop it off. Again, insert your needle into the next stitch, wrap it around your right hand needle, pull it through, and then pop it off the left hand needle. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we're on the wrong side. A lot of the patterns will tell you what side you're working on. Sometimes row 1 is the wrong side of the work and not the right side. It just depends on the pattern. That was 5 rows. And now we're going to do our 6th row. Insert your needle into the next stitch, wrap it around the right hand needle, pull it through, pop it off the left hand needle. One more time, insert your needle into the next stitch, wrap it around, pull it through, pop it off. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we have completed 6 rows. And I'm going to show you how to count them. So I have to like bring it closer because you can't really see. I wish I had like a chunkier yarn so I could use larger needles so you could see it better, but I do not have chunky yarn like this. So you can see these 2. Turn my needle over here. There's like an upper bump and a lower bump. That's 2 rows. So that's 2 and that's 4. The 5th row is right here and the 6th row is where we started. So that's 6 rows. Garter stitch, you knit every row and works on any number of stitches. So we're going to go and do stockinette, which will introduce us to the purl stitch. So the first row is the same as garter stitch. You're going to knit across. So we've already gone through knitting, so I'm just going to go and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we'll turn our work. And we're going to get ready for our purl row. So when you insert your needle, you're not going to go this way from left to right. You're going to go from right to left. So I'm going to insert my needle from right to left into that first stitch. And I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to wrap it around this way. And then pull through the loop, and then pop it off. And we're going to go slow with this because purling takes practice. Just going to insert our needle from right to left into the next stitch. I'm going to wrap our yarn around, and I'm not sure if I can show you how to wrap it around, like try not to have my fingers in the way. I'm going to wrap it around. I'm going to hold on to it and pull it through. Sometimes you use your left hand to help guide it, and then we're going to pop it off. And again, from right to left, wrap the yarn around the hook from, like, how is that? Is that counterclockwise? Counterclockwise, I do believe. And then pull it under the left-hand needle, pop it off. Insert again, wrap it around, pull it underneath this left-hand needle, pop it off. And it's going to take a minute, a couple of rows, to show you what the purl side actually looks like. So we're going to do it again. And pull it off. How many have I done? 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. And we're going to turn our work. And you can start to see your regular normal knit stitches. It's a little hard to see, especially with the first 2 rows. So we're going to do 4 more so you can see it a lot better. So as always, on the right side of this work, on this specific swatch we're making, we're going to knit across. And it's like insert from left to right into the stitch, wrap it around, pull it through, pop it off. And we're going to go across the way like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can almost start to see it go. So we're going to turn our work, and row 4 we're going to purl. And we're going to go through the first couple of stitches slowly. I want you to be able to like get it and learn it properly, so you're not like messing up later on, because when I started learning how to knit, I had absolutely no idea how to purl. This was before YouTube, and the instruction booklet I had just didn't really like instruct me all that well, so I gave up knitting for a little bit until I went back to it. By then there were more sites with like good photographs that could show you how to actually do it. This was again still before YouTube. Yes, I am that old. Anyway, insert your right hand needle from right to left into the next stitch. And I usually have to, like, for the first couple of stitches, have to hold on to both needles with my left hand. So I just like pinch it between my index finger and my thumb, wrap it around, pull it through underneath this left hand needle, and pop it off. And again, from right to left, wrap it around, pull it through and under the left hand needle, and pop it off. I'm going to go one more time. Insert from right to left, wrap your yarn around, pull it through, underneath, and pop it off. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's row 4, and we can count them too, because you can see it sort of. If I can hold on to everything and show it properly. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got 2 more rows. So we're going to knit across. And by this time, you know how to knit. So let's do this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And then our last row, row 6, we're purling. And stockinette stitch is 1 row of knit, next row is purl. And then the next stitch pattern, we're going to use both in the same row. So I'm going to show you how to do that too. So we're going to purl across this row, right hand needle from right to left into the next stitch. Make sure it's over top of your left hand needle, which I probably should have mentioned before. And then wrap it around, pull it underneath your left hand needle, and pop it off. Insert from right to left, wrap it around, pull it under and off. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we have 6 rows. So we're going to count those 6 rows. If I can, like, let me move it closer so it's a little more balanced in my hand. See if I can see my stitches here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 rows. Oops. So now we're going to do what's called a seed stitch. Now I cast it on 12. Now these stockinette and garter stitch work on any number of stitches. It's going to be odd, even, whatever. But the seed stitch needs an even number or an odd number of rows. There's 2 ways to do it. I'm going to do the even way because I don't need to add an extra stitch. But this is how we're going to do it. And it's alternating knitting, the knit stitch, and the purl stitch in the same row. So we're going to start, we're going to knit the first stitch and then purl the second stitch and do that all the way across. I'm going to insert my needle into the stitch, I'm going to wrap our yarn around, pull it through, pop it off like a normal stitch. Now to do the purl stitch, you're going to need to bring your yarn to the front and then insert your needle from right to left into the next stitch and then wrap it around, pull it back through the back, and pop it off. That's a purl stitch. Now we're going to knit stitch again, so you're going to want to bring your yarn back to the back of the work and knit the next stitch, purling the next one, bring the yarn forward, and pop it off. And you're going to keep bringing the yarn forward and back, yarn back for knitting, and then the yarn forward for purling. So we got the yarn in the back, we're going to knit the next stitch, bring the yarn into the front, purl the next stitch, going to knit the next one, so we need the yarn in the back, knit the next stitch, bring it forward, purl the next stitch, take it to the back, knit the next stitch, bring it forward, purl the next stitch, bring it back, knit the next stitch, and then we're going to purl the next stitch. which is the last stitch, and that's 12. And we'll turn our work. And it's going to be hard to tell on this, sort of, until we have like more rows, but you can tell like this one looks like a knit stitch, and that looks like a purl stitch on the back side. So we're going to do the opposite of what this is. That looks like a knit stitch, so we're going to purl the first stitch and knit the second stitch all the way across. So we're going to insert our hook. God, I got crochet on the brain. Insert our needle in from right to left. Wrap it around. Bring it under and through. And that's the purl first stitch. And then we're going to take the yarn back to the back because we're going to knit next. I'm going to knit the next stitch. Bring the yarn forward. Purl the next stitch. Take the yarn back. Knit next stitch. Bring the yarn forward. Purl the next stitch. Take the yarn back. Knit the next stitch. Bring it forward. Purl. Take it back. Knit. Forward. Purl. Back. Knit. Forward. Purl. Back. Knit, and then turn your work. So you can already start to see it. We got purls and knits all the way across, and it's a 2-row repeat. First row on even number of stitches is knit 1, purl 1, and you repeat that all the way across. Row 2, you will purl 1, knit 1, and then knit 1 all the way across. So we're back on right hand side. So we're going to knit 1, purl 1, and do that across. So knit the first stitch, bring the yarn forward, purl the next stitch, then take the yarn back, knit, forward, purl. And it's a 2-row repeat. So always remember, when your next stitch is knit, you take the yarn to the back, and then you knit your stitch. You're ready to purl, bring the yarn forward, purl the next stitch. And it is easy to get lost on doing this, because I've done stuff where I thought I was like supposed to purl and I knit it anyway, and I was like, oops. But I knit with the yarn in the front, so it added a stitch, which is not what we want. So knit, next stitch, yarn forward, purl, yarn back, knit, yarn forward, purl. So we're on row 4, and on our second row it's purl 1, knit 1 across. So insert from right to left, wrap it around, pull it through, purl. Take the yarn to the back, knit, forward, purl, back, knit. And we're going to do this across. Purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. I think that's row 4. 1, and we can count. So I'm going to start with like the first row where it's a purl stitch, because it's easier. That's 1, and there's a knit stitch right there, that's 2, purl stitch is 3, knit stitch, that's row 4. So we've got 2 more rows to do. Fix that. So we're going to knit 1 and then purl 1 across row 4. So we know how to do it now, don't we? So we can go through this row pretty easily. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we turn our work and we're ready for row 6. Row 6, purl 1, knit 1 across. So insert a hook, right to left, purl our first stitch, take the yarn to the back, knit the next stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And this stitch is reversible, just like garter stitch and the seed stitch are reversible. They're the same on the front as they are on the back. Stockinette stitch, not so much. Unless you're doing reverse stockinette, and then for reverse stockinette, you would purl a row first on the right side, and then when you go to row 2, you'll knit that next row. And it'll just basically look like this on like the front side of your work, and that's usually basically for when you're doing cable work, so you can make the cables pop out. And we'll do cable stitches later on, but these are at the beginning. So you only there's only basically 2 stitches. There's a knit and a purl. That's it. You can make all sorts of like patterns and stuff with it, just with a knit and purl stitch. And there's also like yarn overs and knit together, slip, slip, and knit, slip, slip, pass, stitch over, something, slip, slip, PS, last, or something like that. I can't remember. I haven't done that in a while. But these are just basic stitches. As you can tell, you can see here, that's a garter stitch. Move this so, move it over and balance it in my hand. You got your garter stitch. You got your stockinette stitch, and then you've got your seed stitch, which these 2 are reversible. Stockinette stitch, not so much. Unless you're doing, like I said, reverse stockinette, and then it would just look like this. Whoops. Yeeted my needle here. Let's get that slid back over. So yeah, the reverse stockinette would look like this, and the garter stitch and the seed stitch would look the same. So that's all it is for those stitches. Let me know in the comments section below what stitches you would like to learn, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.